All week long here at 1045theteam.com, we've been chronicling our Section 2 alumni on their way or already at spring training. Today, it's Jeff Hoffman, Shaker High School graduate, first-round pick in last year's draft of the Toronto Blue Jays. Jeff, we last talked to you right before the draft. How you feeling? How are you?
I'm doing great. I've been doing my rehab very consistently throughout the 10 months that I've been at it, and my arm feels great now. I'm back on a mound, and everything's coming along nicely.
Jeff, obviously, as you're alluding to, you right before the draft, you suffered Tommy John, or an injury to the elbow, had Tommy John surgery, so the elbow feels good. I did see you were back on the mound. Are you back to throwing 100%? Are you 80%? Kind of where are you at right now?
Yeah, I've been back on a mound since about January 5th, so I'm coming up on bullpen number 18, I believe. So, I mean, I'm pretty good into it. I'm about 95 to 100%. I'm getting ready to face some hitters in the box now, and midway through March, that'll start happening.
Jeff, what's the rehab process like? I mean, it's a grind, but just how grueling is it?
It's it's very repetitive, and I think that's what gets guys. You show up to the complex every day, and you're really doing the same thing over and over. It's every day. You get there and you get in the whirlpool, and then just to warm the elbow up, and from there you get your shoulder work done. So it gets very repetitive and very boring, but you got to just remind yourself of the goal at the end of the day is to get back and healthy, get back on the mound.
I've talked to all the other local guys who were drafted the same year as you, some of the guys before you. I asked them what were their expectations for their first spring training. Now, this is your first spring training also, but does it feel like you've already been there through the last 10 months because you have been through this grind?
Yeah, there's a sense of familiarity with professional baseball already, just because I've been around the complex for about 10 months now, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot of different things going on that I haven't been through before, but at the same time, I've been playing my whole life, so it's going to be the same game, just a different atmosphere.
Anytime you have an injury, there's often some apprehension or some nerves to get back out there and try it again full throttle. Did you have any nerves coming back, or maybe just nerves to really try to let it go and test the arm, or was it just natural?
Yeah, I mean, there are those feelings definitely at first, but I've been throwing for a couple months now, and slowly you start to get that feeling back of what it feels like to let one go, and you start to become more comfortable with your elbow, and once you get past the thought that it might hurt, you just got to tell yourself, they went in, they made your elbow stronger than it's ever been. So if you get that thought in your head, then it becomes a lot easier to go out there and let one go.
Jeff, read something about 2 weeks ago that said that the Blue Jays were targeting May for you to get into affiliated ball. Obviously, you've said you'll start facing batters here in March. April, you'll get some game-type action, and then in affiliated ball by May. Is that still the timetable? Do you know the timetable?
That seems like it would make the most sense. But that's a question that I really can't answer. That's for the guys up top, and I think that's probably pretty accurate to what will happen. But it just depends how these last couple months of rehab goes, and knock on wood, I'm doing really well right now. Everything's coming along smoothly. So, if everything stays on this path, I wouldn't see why not.
Lots of optimism around Blue Jays camp, especially around the young pitching. It's certainly a strength of the organization that the organization has worked hard to build up. I'm a huge fan of Marcus Stroman. Aaron Sanchez is a highly rated, highly touted prospect that has reached the majors at the end of last season. And then there's yourself in this trio here. Have you spent time around those guys, and how does it feel to be included with them? Yeah,
I've met. I've hung out a bunch with Stroman and Sanchez. I played golf a few times this off season, and it's cool. I mean, it's definitely an honor to kind of be mentioned with those guys. These guys have made it. They're all in big league spring training right now, so I haven't gotten a chance to talk to them lately. But and the same thing with Dan Norris. I mean, he's another guy that we got coming up, and we're all kind of the same type of guys. We're all power arms that really can make a difference on that squad. So we're looking forward. I'm looking forward to getting up there and working with them and helping them out and getting back to the playoffs.
Now, I saw some video of you throwing in the Capital Region this winter. How much time did you get to spend at home this winter?
I spent a good amount of time. I was probably home for Thanksgiving through January 1st. Took a little vacation in between there, but I was working now up at the Hayner's barn in Half Moon, and me and my brother would go up there and toss it around and let him hit a little bit. So that was fun, getting back home and seeing the family and all that.
Your brother Tyler, a freshman at Barton College, can he hit off you? Did he hit you for a single at all in the tunnel?
Wasn't quite back on the mound yet, but hopefully next season he'll get in the box against me.
We'll see. We'll have to monitor that, a good little sibling rivalry.
There you go.
In addition to you being home and rehabbing, this had to have been kind of an odd offseason for you. You were mentioned, and I didn't even know this was possible until I really looked at it, impossible trade rumors for an executive. Did you pay any attention to that? Was that distracting at all?
Yeah, of course I've heard of it, and it was something that was out of my control, and when I spoke to my agent about it, we kind of talked about it, the possibilities and what could happen, what couldn't happen, and at the end of the day, it's not up to us. We have no say in what happens there, so we kind of just sat back and let whatever take its course, and I'm just glad to still be a Blue Jay.
Now, I mentioned this, or I asked you this question right around the draft, and now, as again, all through last week and early part of this week, I've talked to pretty much everybody locally in professional baseball, from Matt Gage to Brandon Cogswell to J.P. Sportman, Brian O'Keefe. How cool is it, again, to be in this fraternity of look, this area doesn't get a lot of love notoriously as far as being a baseball powerhouse, and now all of a sudden it kind of started with, you go back 10 years, Tim Stauffer, Brennan Harris, and then you look at Murphy Smith, Tommy Canley, a Shaker product who's in the major leagues, but now there's a wave of guys. There's probably 8 to 10 guys, local ball players, in affiliated pro ball. What's that like? Yeah,
it's awesome. I mean, and at some point, most of us had played with each other, so we all know each other. Like Cogs, I know you guys know that we played on that Connie Mack team that went to New Mexico with Sal Troy, and O'Keefe was on that team too. So it means a lot. We all stuck with it, and we all had the work ethic to get to where we're at. So it's just it's an awesome feeling,